It's the Score North Twin Show. Baseball.
All right, Score North Twin Show. Our guy Trevor Plouffe is deep in the coverage of home run derby. I saw him in the outfield, or over the home run wall, not in the outfield. I think they only allow kids in the outfield. Although I told him
that kid that robbed
the
home run
run
yesterday.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, I know.
You're fired, kid.
Well,
Sorry.
No, I think this is a new thing. I think if you rob it, it shouldn't count. Like those kids are out there.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Give them a chance. And in fact, in the first home run derby officially of all time, 1985, July, the Metrodome, a kid robbed Ryan Sandberg from the St. Cloud Apollo baseball team, which had won the state championship. They allowed them to play the field, essentially, to shag. And a kid robbed Sandberg, went up over the wall at the Metrodome, which, if you guys recall, was not simple.
It was
That's
Pedro Munoz, actually.
And guess what? It didn't count. Didn't count.
Well, did the one last night count?
Yes, they counted it.
Okay.
Actually,
you know what? I'm rethinking this. I kind of like your idea. Put these kids out there. If you rob one, it's all part of the game.
Kid gets $5,000
from the player that he robbed.
Yeah. I love it.
God, that's awesome. Hey, hit the like button, subscribe button here on the Score North Twin Show. We're still pumping out content even though it's All-Star Week. We have our All-Jag team coming up later this week, which is we've done it for the Vikings. We're going to do it now for the Twins. It's going to be an absolute blast, so be on the lookout for that, plus anything trade deadline related, or if the Twins just stay hot and they keep winning games too. We'll have plenty of things covered here on the Score North Twin Show. The MLB Draft took place, so the draft is now in the can. I do have some draft thoughts. We will talk Buxton home run derby, and Phil is getting savaged on Twitter too for his Hall of Fame take of Byron Buxton. So we'll have a fun episode here. But let's start with the draft. So the Twins made 4 picks in the top 100 of the MLB Draft. I have notes on the first 5. So let's start here. Let's start with their top pick. This was Merrick Houston out of Wake Forest. He was the 16th overall pick. Keith Law, MLB draft expert for The Athletic now, called him a no-doubt shortstop, a high-floor, low-ceiling prospect, unless someone foresees more power in his future than I do. So here's the thing. He had 15 home runs in 61 games at Wake Forest. If we think Yankee Stadium is a Little League ballpark, so is Wake Forest. It might be even more extreme. 11 of the 15 home runs were hit at that ballpark. So there are some scouts that say his power has to be developed or isn't going to be a legit thing. But he was the best college shortstop on the board, according to Sean Johnson, the assistant GM of the Twins. And consensus, he was... So the Twins took him at the 16th overall pick. Baseball America had him at the 14th best prospect, MLB.com 15th, ESPN 23. So they didn't overdraft this guy. His glove is what probably has him so high, but his power will have to be developed if he legitimately does pan out as a legitimate Major League Baseball prospect.
Where does Kalen Culpepper project to play now?
Left side of the infield, shortstop, third base.
Okay, because I'm just thinking if this kid is a shortstop, because and I do love this now. I love the fact that the Twins, and they're certainly not alone, are now just drafting shortstops because they can play elsewhere. Mm-hmm. I also think, though, off of the entire first round, it's a very interesting trend. You know, Phil, when we first started to do the radio show and the Twins would draft guys, there was a several steps, right? Like you wouldn't see guys for quite some time. You are now seeing more and more, especially college kids drafted who end up as pros pretty quickly. So I think that trend is intriguing as well. I would not be surprised if Culpepper actually is with the big league club a year from now in some sort of capacity. But I love this philosophy. I would far rather go down this path than the Sabato path, which is that guy's got power, unless it's a legit thing. The athletic ability thing, I think, is a very good train to be on.
Yeah, and I think, boy, if he does, it sounds like he projects as a shortstop. Sometimes it's hard to tell. I mean, you draft these kids, when they're 21, they're more projectable than when they're 18. If you're a shortstop at 18, it's like, all right, well, if you grow a little bit or something, or your explosiveness doesn't improve. But pretty quickly they will be looking for life after Carlos Correa here, and it doesn't sound like Royce Lewis is going to be an everyday shortstop. Do you guys think Brooks Lee in 3 years from now, is Brooks Lee a third baseman for you? Do they still think they have to figure out among guys who are further ahead of Merrick Houston in line, how many of them project to be your everyday starting shortstop, or is the path kind of clear in like 2 years if he crushes in the minor leagues?
Yeah, the good news is so Brooks Lee, we're still kind of seeing it play out at the big league level, but he can play short. Kalen Culpepper has been awesome, and it had some similar questions about how legit his bat was going to be after being drafted last year. He has played in 70 games between high A and double A, and at double A in the 16 games since being promoted, an OPS of 957, like he is hitting 368. That dude can hit. Fielding, I have no idea. I don't have the answers in terms of if this dude's going to be a legitimate shortstop, but he has answered those questions. And to your guys' point, take as many dart throws as possible at short, because eventually one of these guys will stick, and or they're going to be athletic enough to make a transition to third or second, or one of the corner outfield spots. They have drafted Culpepper, Brooks Lee, now Merrick Houston, so they have taken multiple shortstops. Walker Jenkins is more of a center fielder, but he's an athletic freak too, so they have prioritized that area of need here early in their first rounds over the last 4 or 5 drafts.
So like shortstop, it's just a couple more notes on shortstop. One, like Judd brought this, you can move them. You don't draft a first baseman, Aaron Sabato, and then 2 years in, you're like, let's move him to shortstop. It doesn't, there's a pecking order of, if you draft a center fielder, you can move him. You draft a shortstop, you can move him. You draft a catcher, you can move him to a couple different places, usually like a corner outfield spot or first base. But it gives you organizational value because teams are always on the hunt for it's the most premium position in your infield. And flexibility in terms of where you could move him to a different position. But I'll also add that if you have a lights out defensive shortstop, and Carlos Correa was this in Houston and a little bit the first couple years with the Twins, it's dropped off defensively. But it can be, it's the place where you can, in hidden fashion, increase your advantage on opponents the most. So like the Tampa Bay Rays, for instance, this season, as a collective, the Tampa Bay Rays shortstop position has been worth 20 defensive runs saved above average. The Twins are dead last so far this year in shortstop defensive runs saved.
Crazy.
Correa has dropped off in that department.
That's me, yes.
So, and this is just it's defensive runs saved. It's one metric according to Fangraphs. There's other metrics that are a little more favorable toward the Twins. But right now, just shortstop defense, there is a 32-run difference at the All-Star break between the Rays and the Twins. That could grow to 50 or 60 run difference over the course of a season, just that position defensively.
May I suggest, because I was, when I wrote the thing on Correa a week and a half ago, and I went and looked and actually consulted with Dex to make sure that what I was seeing was correct. May I suggest that Correa's defensive drop-off should be a bigger story than his offensive decline?
Yeah. I mean, it's
enormous.
It is, because you kind of thought even if his bat is going in and out, or it's you're going to have this dude. So just to dig deeper on the Rays comparison here. So their starting shortstop is a 28-year-old named Taylor Walls. Taylor Walls was a 3rd-round pick out of Florida State in 2017, and he is an atrocious hitter. Taylor Walls, remember like Adam Everett from back in the day? Yeah. There's been some of these dudes who are just absolutely terrible at the plate. Yes. But Taylor, and this is by the way, this is how you, with a shoestring payroll, compete with the Yankees in the American League East, and how you stay ahead of the Red Sox, right? And the red hot Red Sox. So Taylor Walls on the season is batting .216 with a .579 OPS. His OPS plus is 65. 100 is average. He is quite literally one of, if not the worst everyday hitters in Major League Baseball. But he is so good defensively. He's been worth like 20 runs above average defensive runs saved. And so his wins above replacement, he's been worth 2.5 wins above replacement solely because of his defense. So, I mean, the point I'm getting at here is the Twins have had some really big leaks defensively. Shortstop this year, first base post Carlos Santana. They're trying to figure out where Royce Lewis fits defensively, right? He's been a little bit better, it seems like, at third base. But whether it's Merrick Houston or somebody else, you need someone to lock it down with their glove and their range at shortstop. And it's becoming increasingly clear that Carlos Correa is not that guy anymore.
Mm-mm. Next guy on this list, Riley Quick out of Alabama. Roll Tide. Pick 36 in the draft. He was a comp pick. 70 strikeouts in 62 innings. He was considered the hardest throwing starting pitcher available in the draft. He's coming off Tommy John. So he had Tommy John going into last year, and he pitched. So he had Tommy John, that would be in 2023 or maybe early 2024. But he pitched last year. That fastball between 97 and 99. Keith Law had him as the 23rd best prospect, and he fell to the Twins at 36. So he is a hard thrower. There are questions about his command and control, which does make some sense if he is this big and he has some big velocity numbers. But again, take a shot at a really good pitcher who pitched at a big school, has high velocity, and a guy that fell to you too at 36 is probably a good start here. So another arm, a good arm to maybe watch here for the Twins.
Are we projecting starter or bullpen arm here long term, do you think?
I don't think you draft a first round college kid projecting him to be a bullpen guy right
No,
away.
but I mean, it often goes that direction, which is fine. I mean,
I saw projections that could see him as a bullpen arm down the road. You know, they're doing this. This was similar. I think it's Charlie Soto, who is the Twins' top, or Connor Prelip.
Connor Prelip, yeah.
Lefty that they are being very cautious with. He's made 9 starts in Wichita, but he's only thrown 23 innings. They're literally giving him only like 2 or 3 innings, basically a start, just to ramp him up a little bit because he's had some arm issues before. But yeah, taking a shot with a dude that throws 97, 99. By the way, Riley Quick, I believe, 21 years old. So they've went college kids in back-to-back picks, Wake Forest, and then Alabama in Riley Quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, to your point, Judd, like most starting pitchers, if they make the major leagues and have success, are bullpen arms. Just by sheer math, right? You might draft every year, you got 40 or 50 rounds, and you might draft however many pitchers. Well, like how many of them are going to make your 5-man starting rotation? But I feel like if you're drafting a dude with the 36th overall pick, you're drafting him with the intention of him being a rotation guy in the next like 3 years. And if he fails and he's a high velo guy, cool. Now you have a dude throwing 100 miles an hour out of the bullpen in shorter spurts. So it's a good safety net. I mean, Louis Varland, not that he was the 36th overall pick, but like, all right, cool. If it fails, you got this 98 mile an hour horse out of the bullpen that can give you a bunch of innings. So we'll see.
All right, so the first prep player they took, and I think Plouffe has a connection to this guy. So it's Quentyn Young, who is the nephew of Delman and Dimitri Young.
Okay.
Delman, who obviously played for the Twins. Dimitri, his brother, was a pretty good player, too, at the Tigers and the Nationals. So 6'6" shortstop at pick 54 out of high school. He was the highest-rated prep shortstop in the state of California. And as we know, California is going to produce some of the best baseball prospects basically out there. Sean Johnson said some of the highest upside in the whole draft. That's probably the highlight of our scouts for the night. We thought he'd be off the board. To be able to get him, our scouts are probably in the room still trying to do gymnastics. So the Twins were really high on this dude. Didn't think they had a shot in hell of landing him basically at pick 54. They land him. I haven't heard anything about like, are all these guys are signed and good to go? I'm gonna guess Quentyn Young will sign when he's drafted that high at 54 and gets a slot and a bonus money. But that's your first prep guy. They went college, and then Quentyn Young, who was the highest prep shortstop out of California at pick 54, with ties to Delman and Dimitri Young.
And he is from the backyard of Trevor Plouffe there in Southern California. So it'll be. Yeah, Plouffe's on those guys at John Boy are just like not sleeping this week. They're just creating content 24/7. So we have a million things to catch up on with Plouffe next week when he's back home and not traveling. But yeah, if he's got some Quentyn Young anecdotes, that would be fun to hear.
6'6" shortstop arm. I smell right fielder.
That's tall.
It's a tall dude.
Yeah, 6'6" is a lot, but
It's a long way to bend over.
But I
in
mean,
the
again,
infield,
but you know, so he plays shortstop for his prep team, which is not a surprise because I'm sure he's the best player on that entire team. But then if he signs here,
Right.
probably shift him, and I would guess to right field. Hopefully his footwork is superior to that of which we've seen from Wallner this season, which has not exactly gone well.
or Twinkle Toes Delman. You know?
Oh, yeah,
I think. By the way, if he fills out like the other Young brothers,
he's a DH.
then he ain't playing shortstop. We could put that idea to bed. But yeah, sit out there in a corner outfield spot or first base with a rifle arm for sure.
A couple more notes here on these draft picks, but a shout out to my friends at Northern Soda. So Northern Soda Company, I got the Pontoon Punch right here. I was drinking plenty of different Northern Sodas over the 4th of July. They got the root beer. They got I mowed the lawn on Saturday after the Twins game when I came home. I cracked open a Northern Soda root beer. Living the dream.
Third time?
Dream. What's that, Judd?
Third time that you've mowed in your entire life?
Like 4th or 5th, yeah. Yeah, 4th or 5th.
I love fragmented sentence, Jeff.
Third time.
I was like, third soda? Like, yeah, I've had 3 of them.
Third time that you mowed because you had never mowed until you moved into this house.
Yeah. Luckily, Northern Soda keeps me nice and cool and calm after mowing the lawn. So go find your Northern Soda at a local grocery store near you. Stop in their tap house in New Brighton. And it is grilling season, Judd. So the third time you're using stoked barbecue pellets, 4th, 5th time, 30th time?
14th time?
Every time, gentlemen, let me tell you right now that stoked barbecue pellets are on the table as far as what's perfect to use when you are grilling. A company based and operated right here in our great state. I've talked to you before, but the Barbecue Caddy, absolutely fantastic. If you're a grill master, the Barbecue Caddy is the thing to get. Stoked solid oak firewood, perfect for your pizza ovens, solo stoves, tabletop fireplace as well. You can find Stoked products at Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores. Also, check out their website, stokedbbq.com, to find other locations to get their products. But you want to start at Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores. Stoked barbecue pellets helping you make the most of summer grilling.
Couple more notes on the first few draft picks by the Twins. Appreciate you guys who have supported the Score North Twin Show. Thank you. Hit the like button, subscribe button. 2 more pitchers to talk about here. So James Ellwanger was the 88th pick. He's 21 out of Dallas Baptist. He went 4-2. He had a 3.98 ERA. His fastball can hit up to 100 miles an hour. Both these guys I'm about to talk about here, big dudes. Ellwanger is 6'4", 205 pounds. He actually led Conference USA in strikeouts. So not Bama, not Wake Forest, but led Conference USA with 95 strikeouts, and he ranked 8th in the nation as a whole with 13.6 strikeouts per 9 innings. The other man on this list is Jason, I believe it's Reitz, pick 119. He's out of Oregon. This was the tallest dude in the draft. He is 6'11".
It's crazy. It's tough to repeat those mechanics.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Send him across the street. Target center.
The extension on the Baseball Savant page will be really well for him. He also has already had Tommy John. He pitched at St. Mary's in California as a reliever in his first 2 college seasons. Then he transferred to Oregon, played with the Ducks, and was in their starting rotation. He struck out 73 guys in 64 innings. And yeah, I would think on Reitz, 6'11", mechanics, that's going to be a long ways as he develops that. But also Ellwanger out of Dallas Baptist, a big fastball, and has put up some strikeout numbers. So of the first 5 picks, 3 of them were pitchers. All 4 out of the 5 were guys out of college. Quentyn Young being the only prep guy they drafted within their first 5 selections. But yeah, little recap. Those are your first 5 dudes that the Twins drafted in this year's MLB Draft.
Baseball.
Yeah, it's fun to follow, man. It's always you always sort of take the most optimistic view on prospects. You know, if this guy pans out, he could be this. But then you go back and look historically, and it's hard, man. Like you wind up drafting 20 rounds or how many rounds is the draft now? Is it? It used to be 50, but they've definitely reduced it.
It used to be endless. At one time,
20.
you would just go until a team said, okay, we're done now.
So it's like 20, and then it's just a free. It's like a UDFA free for all after that, basically.
I think it's 20 now.
So yeah, like if I think out of this, you're hoping to accomplish two things. Maybe find one or two high level starting players that, especially the college kids that pop in a couple years, but mostly have a nice fortification of your prospect pipeline, so that when the time is right, and it doesn't sound like it's going to be right in a couple weeks from now, that you can feel guilt-free about trading from that prospect pool. That's the one thing, like a lot of people look at the draft as like, that could be your starting shortstop. Maybe, but like that could also be one of three players you ship when you're in contention for a 27-year-old star player with 2 years of team control left. So that's another huge reason why the draft is so important.
So Buxton participates in the home run derby yesterday, makes it out of the first round. I wasn't a surprise to see him kind of rack up a lot of them when they did the pause. So now it used to be, 10 outs, 10 swings, basically everything is an out that's not a home run. Now it was 4 minutes. Now it's 3 minutes. You get one timeout in that time period, and then if you hit a certain threshold over amount of feet, you get the bonus balls. And Buck capitalized that in the first in his first trip up for the Derby. Gets to the second round against Junior Caminero, bows out from there. Cool homecoming moment for him. I tweeted this out. I know it's still not as cool as it used to be, and it's a very low bar to clear among the other three men's major sports. I do think baseball, though, still does the All-Star Game festivities the best of the four men's major sports. Low bar to clear, but they still do it, in my opinion, the best.
And part of that is because in their skills competition, in this case, the Derby, they still have legitimate players competing. Like the slam dunk contest would be the best thing in all of sports if the legitimate guys competed, but they won't now. Yeah. So, Aaron Judge can sit out, and it's still fun because you've got Cal Raleigh, you've got still a plethora of guys that are good. So I agree, Dex, but, baseball is fortunate in the sense that they still have a very nice core group of guys to compete. I thought the Buxton thing was fun. The Buxton thing was great. I'm just glad for the guy for various things that we've talked about. But the one thing I think that you sleep on is how freaking tired those guys must get up there.
Yeah.
Like that is 3 minutes, and you're
hacking, man. You're hacking.
Yeah, you're hacking, and you're in Georgia heat and humidity. That's an underrated, probably incredibly sneaky, difficult aspect of that entire competition.
Yeah, it's a skill, man, to sit in there and I know they're lobbing the pitches in, so it's not hard to like put the bat on the ball. But if you go back and watch some of the great power hitters, even of the late 80s, early 90s, and the format was different, but like those guys had a harder time. Griffey could do it, and Sosa was hitting bombs over the slide in Milwaukee 25 years ago. But it's become kind of an art form, launch angle and putting the ball up in the air that high, and dude, they're up there. You hit like 20 of those things in a round, and it's pretty exhausting.
Which version did you guys watch last night? ESPN or ESPN2, the StatCast?
I just watched the regular one.
The regular one, yeah.
I couldn't follow it. It was the split screen, and they didn't track the ball. The StatCast was fantastic. They actually tracked the balls, gave you like a laser, like golf, and the distance. It was great.
I did see there was this kind of old cantankerous tweet that I saw last night that did resonate with me a little bit, that the 2025 home run derby, every ball that's hit, it's like, well, there's a 32-degree launch angle and 114 miles an hour off the bat, whatever. It's like, and then when I used to watch as a kid, it was back, yeah. back.
Yeah. But what's ESPN? I don't understand. Their split screen, though, was more confusing. Like they showed the hitter constantly, and then they would occasionally show the ball going out, and then a fan would catch it and start celebrating, and the right side split screen would show him celebrating, and the guy's still swinging. So at least the StatCast one just gave you the view, because like I want to see where the ball flies. I don't think that's too much to ask.
I don't need to see where every ball flies. I don't know. It's gotta be a hard thing to produce because you're trying to you're trying to do it with pace, I agree that like in general, the baseball players and the way that it's put together with fanfare, it feels like everyone cares just a little bit more about that all-star product that certainly than the NFL has totally punted, right? All right, let's not even play a game anymore. We'll play some, I don't know, maybe some flag football or something, but it'll be the Pro Bowl games. Basketball, they stopped playing defense a long time ago. So, and they don't even know what format they're doing from year to year, for God's sakes.
But the thing is, the skills competition in hockey is boring as hell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The basketball ones, so the night before, the slam dunk contest. Now, I mean, look at the amount of slappies that participate. Like, imagine if you had Ant, and let's go through like the 5 ideal guys. Basketball would win that, but you never do anymore.
I feel like this is LeBron James' fault in basketball, because all of the great the dunk contest, even going back to like Dr. J was in a dunk contest that I remember seeing highlights of didn't he take off from the free throw line once in like the 70s?
I think the ABA did one, yes, and that's where the NBA stole it from, if I'm not mistaken.
So Dr. J, star player back in the ABA in the 70s, and then you get into the 80s and, okay, let's bring back the dunk contest. And the premier players and athletes, like the guard players, mostly all participated.
Yeah.
Jordan, Drexler,
Dominic
Wilkins, the human highlight reel from back in that day. And then Kobe did it. Vince Carter with the elbow dunk. Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, even like Dwight Howard was a gigantic superstar in the early kind of mid 2000s. So and I'm missing some in here too, but these guys all participated, and everyone then after 15, 20 years of evidence, they're like, oh, it's like a rite of passage to go and participate if you're a top. Michael Jordan did it. And LeBron James for 20 years said, nope, I'm not going to do it. And that's how you wind up with G League dudes winning it 3 years in a row, because when the top player stops validating this event, then other players are like, well, if he's not going to do it, why would I want to do it? It's a dumb event. So, I don't know. Baseball has a little of that sometimes, but you still get the, like, Buxton, Cal Raleigh. These are still, like,
fun.
massive names in baseball today.
Some of the tweets at the clip I took of Phil saying Byron Buxton making a case for Cooperstown if he stays healthy for the next 5 to 7 years. Here are some of the replies. This might be This might be number one on your biggest homer statement of all time. This is kind of sad, to be honest. All have what you're having. A lot of nominations for some preposterous statement thing. Stop this GD nonsense. I'd rather listen to rigor mortis laden Kirk Cousins stuff.
We gave you that the last couple days too. It's great.
We did. So Phil, any defense, any rebuttals back to this statement?
This is okay, and I get that. Like you put a clip out. You and AJ put a clip out of a broader discussion. I'm not saying it was like out of context, but there's two things at play here. It was a hypothetical discussion about, with a lot of ifs. If he's giving you one of the great seasons in Twins history and he's been healthy, there's a Hall of Famer in there talent-wise that comes out in little like 50 and 70 game spurts. And maybe you're finally getting the first like 140 game spurt of this Hall of Fame talent. What if he replicates this over the course of 5 more years? Where would that put him? And you could disagree with it. You could. My premise was, if these low percentage things happen, what's the discussion in 5 years? And this is like a societal issue. People don't want to engage in a discussion, especially a hypothetical discussion that makes them maybe think a little bit. It's just, Mackey said Buxton Hall of Fame. That's a preposterous statement. Tag KFXN radio. It's like, okay, if I were to say he's a Hall of Famer right now, that's ridiculous. It's uninformed. It's uneducated, all those things. But if I bring up a hypothetical that says, if this happens over the course of 5 years, then what? And if you want to clown me for, okay, you landed on this hypothetical conclusion, you're an idiot. That's fine. But nobody wants to have the actual discussion outside of you guys. I'm not blaming you guys. It's just like, I saw 5 words in a headline and I'm going to be angry about it, right?
Yep.
I just thought it was a funny referendum on the way that we like read things or interpret things in the social media world today.
I got pushback for simply tweeting that Buxton should be in the MVP discussion. So, and of course, you always get this plethora of, well, yeah, he's not going to stay healthy. But yeah, it's funny. There's an inherent bias against a guy like Buxton because he's been hurt. but there's no like understanding the fact that he has been hurt. Like he's legitimately been hurt. He's not dogging it. He's not taking games off.
Right. And it's like, okay, so all of that is given. You're not jumping in with some revolutionary take by saying he's always injured. We know. We've watched it for 10 years.
Right.
We understand the injury volatility. But if there's a discussion about the next 5 years and you say, what if on the 15% chance he has the knee surgery clicked from a couple years ago, the little knee flap surgery, and you're getting this guy for 5 more years, what does that discussion look like in 2030? Okay, that's the conversation. And if your first response is, well, he's always hurt, we know we're obviously. Thank you, Captain Obvious, for joining this discussion.
And let me say this: it has been a goal of mine for 2 years now. If any of you can tag the KFXN crew and get us on the Preposterous Statement tournament, I would be honored. I would be honored to make it. 10
years of absolutely ridiculous takes and statements by Judd, by me.
Please get me on. I would love to. You know what? I don't even need to win it. I just want to get on it.
You just want to be in the bracket.
I just want to be in the bracket. So please.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Griffin Jacks is not a playoff pitcher. Not a playoff pitcher. Shouldn't be on the playoff roster. That would have been
that's a good one,
make
perfect one.
That was one
How
of the
did you
worst.
not
That was
make
one of
it?
the worst takes in the history of the Twin Show, and it didn't even get considered.
No mention. No mention. Hit the like button, subscribe button here on the Score North Twin Show. The all Jag team, just like these all Jags right here, and myself, Mackie, and Judd. Score North Twin Show. Talk at you soon.